Let me ask you something. Have you ever had the feeling that no matter how hard you try, you are still somehow behind in life? Like everyone else is moving forward at the right time, and you are just a little too late? Maybe you see people getting married, building careers, buying homes, and quietly, without saying it out loud, you start wondering, what is wrong with me? But what if nothing is wrong with you at all? What if the real problem is something you have never questioned, an invisible timeline that has been guiding your thoughts without your permission? And what if, by the end of this episode, you realize that you were never behind? You were simply following a path that was never truly yours. Stay with me, because you are not only going to improve your English, you are going to completely change how you see your life and your timing. And if this lesson gave you something useful, I'd love it if you tapped like and subscribe to the channel. It helps you stay connected, and it also helps this little learning community grow. Every click really does make a difference. With love, let's dive in. What invisible timeline are you following? The truth is, you may be following a timeline you never consciously chose. It is called the social clock, and it quietly tells you when your life should happen. It suggests that by a certain age, you should finish your education, build a stable career, get married, and maybe even start a family. No one officially explains these rules to you, yet somehow, you still feel them. They appear in conversations, in questions people ask, and even in the way success is presented online. Over time, these expectations begin to feel normal, almost like they are facts instead of opinions. And without noticing it, you start measuring your life against them. The problem is, this timeline does not know you. It does not understand your journey, your struggles, or your goals. Yet it still tries to define your progress, and that is where the pressure begins. Why does this pressure feel so strong? This pressure feels strong because it is repeated again and again in your environment. You may hear it in simple questions like, "When will you settle down?" or "What are you waiting for?" You may also see it on social media, where people share their achievements and happy moments, often without showing their struggles or delays. Slowly, your mind begins to compare your life with these examples. Even if you understand logically that every life is different, emotionally, it can still feel like a race. This pressure becomes internal, meaning it no longer comes from others. It comes from your own thoughts. You begin to measure your progress based on timing instead of growth. And because timing is not always in your control, this creates stress and self-doubt that can slowly affect your confidence. Why does comparing yourself hurt your confidence? Comparison makes everything more difficult because it creates an unfair picture in your mind. When you compare your life to others, you are often comparing your full reality to someone else's best moments. You see their success, but not their challenges, their fears, or the time it took them to reach that point. This creates the illusion that everyone is ahead, even when that is not true. As a result, your own progress begins to feel small or slow. Instead of focusing on your journey, you start focusing on what you are missing. This can damage your confidence over time because nothing ever feels enough. Comparison does not help you grow. It only increases pressure. It pushes you to follow paths that may not even match your values or your situation. Do these timelines still make sense today? These traditional timelines were created in a different world, where life was more predictable and choices were more limited. In the past, people often followed clear paths with stable jobs and defined roles. Today, life is very different. Education takes longer, careers are less stable, and financial pressure is higher in many places. People explore more options, change directions, and build their lives in flexible ways. Because of this, the old timeline no longer fits modern reality. Expecting yourself to follow it can create unnecessary stress and frustration. It is like trying to use an outdated map to navigate a new city. It simply does not work. Understanding this helps you see that being late is often not a failure, but a natural result of living in a changing and more complex world. What happens when you believe you are behind? When you start believing that you are behind in life, it slowly changes the way you think, feel, and act. You may begin to rush important decisions, not because you are ready, but because you feel pressure to catch up. This can lead to choices that do not truly match your values or your needs. At the same time, a constant sense of anxiety may appear, as if time is always moving too fast and you are always one step late. Instead of appreciating your progress, you focus on what is missing. This mindset can be exhausting and emotionally draining. Over time, it may even reduce your motivation because nothing ever feels enough. The idea of being behind is not just a thought. It becomes a feeling that affects your confidence and your ability to enjoy your own journey. Is being late actually a problem? Being late only feels like a problem when you believe there is a fixed timeline that everyone must follow. In reality, there is no universal schedule for success, happiness, or personal growth. Some people reach certain milestones early, while others take more time, and both paths can lead to meaningful and fulfilling lives. What matters more is not when something happens, but how prepared you are when it does. Taking extra time can allow you to build stronger skills, gain deeper understanding, and make better decisions. What looks like a delay from the outside may actually be preparation on the inside. When you remove the pressure of timing, you begin to see your journey more clearly. You realize that your pace is not wrong. It is simply different, and that difference can be your strength. How can you define success in your own way? Defining success in your own way means shifting your focus from external expectations to personal meaning. Instead of asking, "Am I on time?" you begin to ask, "Am I growing in a direction that matters to me?" Success becomes less about reaching specific milestones by a certain age and more about building a life that feels authentic and satisfying. This might include developing new skills, improving your mindset, or creating stability in your own unique way. When success is personal, it becomes flexible and realistic. It adapts to your situation instead of forcing you into a fixed path. This reduces pressure and increases motivation because your goals feel meaningful. You are no longer chasing someone else's timeline. You are creating your own path, step by step, with clarity and intention. Why is your personal timing important? Your personal timing is important because every decision in life requires readiness, not just opportunity. You may have the chance to do something, but if you are not emotionally, mentally, or financially prepared, it may not lead to a positive result. Following your own timing allows you to grow at a pace that supports long-term success. It helps you avoid decisions made from fear or pressure. When you respect your timing, you also begin to trust yourself more deeply. You understand that your path is valid, even if it looks different from others. This trust is powerful because it reduces doubt and builds confidence. Over time, you stop asking whether you are late and start focusing on whether you are ready. And that shift can completely change the way you move forward in life. How can you stop comparing your life to others? Stopping comparison does not mean you will never notice other people again. It means you change how you interpret what you see. Instead of using others as a measure of your progress, you begin to see them as separate journeys with different timelines and challenges. You remind yourself that you do not know their full story, their struggles, or the effort behind their success. At the same time, you bring your attention back to your own life. You ask yourself what you have learned, what you have improved, and what you are building right now. These questions help you stay focused on your path. Comparison loses its power when you stop giving it meaning. It becomes just information, not judgment, and this shift protects your confidence and your peace of mind. What role does patience play in your growth? Patience plays a powerful role because real growth is rarely fast or easy to see. In a world that celebrates speed and quick results, it is easy to feel like slow progress means no progress at all. But the truth is, many important changes happen quietly, over time. You are learning, adjusting, improving, even when it does not feel obvious. Patience allows you to stay committed without feeling rushed or pressured. It gives you the space to build a strong foundation instead of chasing quick success that may not last. When you practice patience, your stress begins to decrease and your thinking becomes clearer. You make decisions more carefully and you stop reacting to pressure. Over time, patience helps you trust the process of your own life, even when the results are not immediate or visible. How can you deal with pressure from others? Dealing with pressure from others can feel difficult, especially when it comes from people you respect or care about. They may ask questions or give advice based on their own beliefs about success and timing. Instead of reacting emotionally, it helps to understand that their perspective is shaped by their own experiences, not yours. This awareness allows you to listen without feeling controlled. You can respect their opinion without following it. Setting calm and simple boundaries is important. You do not need to explain every detail of your life or defend your choices. Over time, as you become more confident in your path, external pressure begins to lose its power. You realize that approval is not necessary for your progress. What truly matters is that your decisions feel right for you and support your long-term growth. What does it mean to live at your own pace? Living at your own pace means making decisions based on your readiness, not on outside expectations. It means allowing yourself to explore, to take breaks, and to change direction when needed. Your pace may be slower in some areas and faster in others, and that is completely natural. When you accept your pace, you remove the constant feeling of urgency that creates stress. Life becomes less about catching up and more about moving forward with intention and clarity. You begin to focus on what truly matters instead of what looks impressive to others. This creates a sense of balance and control. Living at your own pace is not about doing less. It is about doing what is meaningful in a way that supports your growth and protects your mental and emotional well-being. How can you build a life without the social clock? Building a life without the social clock begins with awareness. You start noticing when your thoughts are influenced by outside expectations instead of your own values. Instead of accepting those thoughts automatically, you pause and question them. Do these expectations truly fit your life? Do they match your goals and your current situation? From there, you begin making more intentional choices. You focus on what feels meaningful, not what looks successful to others. You create goals that reflect your reality, not someone else's timeline. This process takes time, but it leads to a more authentic and peaceful life. Step by step, you begin to feel less pressure and more freedom. Your decisions become clearer because they come from understanding, not from comparison or fear. What changes when you trust your own timeline? When you truly trust your own timeline, something deep begins to shift inside you. The constant pressure to be on time slowly disappears, and in its place, you feel a sense of calm and confidence. You stop rushing decisions and start moving with purpose. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you begin to appreciate your own progress, even if it is slow. Life becomes less about meeting expectations and more about creating meaning. You realize that there is no single correct path, only different journeys shaped by different choices and experiences. Your journey, with all its delays, changes, and growth, is valid. In the end, trusting your timeline is not just about reducing stress. It is about taking back control of your life and moving forward with clarity, patience, and quiet strength. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.